Hi, welcome. Technical difficulties. So, what's up, everybody? Hi, welcome back after our unscheduled, well, it was scheduled, our unwanted day off yesterday for the Super Bowl. I hope everybody enjoyed the football game. I didn't watch it. I wasn't really interested. I didn't even watch the halftime show yet. Hey, Pineapple. Hey, TJ. Yeah, I haven't even watched the halftime show yet. Hey, Saf Bunny. Um, so yeah. And I was at a concert when you called me. So when I'll try to text you later because you called me, I was at a concert and I couldn't hear anything. Oh, Ray, I got your
Hi,
text. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I can't wait for you to check your messages.
Yeah, I know you sent me something very interesting. And Ray, I saw your message. I got your text. The baby shower invitation. I got it right when I was going live, so I haven't looked at it yet. So we're gonna be posting that soon. So how was your football day? Did you watch the game?
Not a chance.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't even watch this. I didn't even watch the halftime show. I was actually watching a show on Netflix called Cassandra. It's actually really good.
I
So
watched Kind of Pregnant. It's really good.
I heard that people were mad about that because it was
It's awesome.
offensive.
It's
So,
awesome.
but I don't get offended, so I don't care. I don't
Yeah.
care. All right, so we're gonna talk some last resort. So, next week Darcy will arrive. Like you said, right at the tail end of the season, she's gonna make her little appearance, and milk this for all that it's worth. So Darcy will be here last week, but this week we had a little bit of a triage of fighting, I guess. So Rob and Sophie were going at it, and then Natalie noticed that people weren't paying attention to her. So she started calling Josh a gaslighter, and she actually said that he was body shaming her. So we're gonna get into that. And then the Brandon and Julia stuff was still like spilling over. So did you see the photos of the guy that I posted of the guy who Julia's ex-boyfriend was? Did you see what he looked like?
Yeah.
Now I understand
Yeah.
why he's a little worried. Like if I put myself in Brandon's shoes, if that was the ex, I would be worried about that too.
Yeah. A little
That
bit.
guy is like a human statue of muscle. So I was just like, no, I totally understand. Even if it was 4 years ago, I'm still worried, because I'm not going to ever look like that. I'm not going to have the dedication to go to the gym and make myself look that way. So and then I wanted to ask you this. Do you think that Julia wanted to be with Brandon, or do you think she wanted to move to the US so she made the sacrifice
Yeah.
of letting go of the race as the Greek god, right? Because did you see how happy they looked in the gym pictures together? So yeah, I'm confused. I think that she made the ultimate sacrifice. You know how some parents, they'll leave their home country to give the ultimate sacrifice to their kids so they'll have a better life. Julia gave up the guy she wanted to be with. She made that sacrifice, to be here. And I'm pretty sure that Brandon doesn't feel very huge right now. That doesn't make you feel good knowing that you weren't her first choice. You were just the best choice. That doesn't make you feel good.
No, not at all. She definitely made a sacrifice.
Oh, wait. Sap Funny says, I'd love to see Kansas City lose. Oh, so yeah, I think Philadelphia won, which
Yeah.
I didn't know they had a team.
I was rooting for Taylor Swift. Whatever.
I wasn't rooting for anybody, but yeah, I saw, hey, Bestie, hey, Kim. I wasn't rooting for anyone, but I know my little bit of football knowledge knows that Kansas City has won before. So in my world, everybody should get a go around. You know how if you've won a prize, you're disqualified to win a prize again? I feel like that should work in sports. So like if you already have a couple of rings, let some other people get a chance, right? Like
I mean, unless you're dating Taylor Swift, I get it.
Well, did you see they booed her? We're getting off topic, but they booed her at the game.
But you have to keep your ratings up, right?
I mean, yeah, if nobody's watching the game, then you can't pay these players $50 million a year, right? So you got to keep the ratings up. You got to keep people interested. And it's becoming a zoo free-for-all carnival ride. Like this halftime show was a mess. Hey, Carmen. And there was like a diss song about Drake. We're getting off topic, but we're gonna try to stay. Oh, Eagles won a few years ago too. Also, Let somebody else try.
Yeah.
When I lived in Cleveland, we never won. Can somebody let Cleveland win? They've never won. The Browns have never won, right? And if they did, it was like in the 60s. Like, can somebody other teams get a chance? That was my thing with the Golden State Warriors. They were just winning every year. And it's like, can somebody else get a try? You know, like.
Look, I don't care how many baskets they made. I just wasn't watching it.
It was touchdowns, I think.
Yeah. Something like that.
All right, so we're going to go into, well, wait, we were talking about Brandon and Julia in this X thing. So, and then, oh yeah, here's the picture. In case, hold on, I got the picture on my phone. I'm going to show y'all the picture real quick, in case anybody didn't see it, of what Julia's ex-boyfriend looked like.
Dude. Yeah.
This is Julia's ex-boyfriend with Julia.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's who she was kissing when she went back to Russia. That's who she was, you know, this was probably her last hookup.
Sure,
you know, when Jasmine went back and she banged Dane one last time, I think Julia went back and she banged this dude one last time, you know, just one for the road, right? One for the road. She got one for the road because she knew she wasn't going to get it like that once she got to, where does he live? Virginia?
Yeah.
Dinwiddie. She wasn't gonna get it in Dinwiddie like that. So she was like, let me go back one time and get it how I want to get it, because you know she's never gonna get it like that again. So we were watching that. Brandon is acting like he can't move forward, which I don't know. So I was thinking about this, and if this happened to me and it's been 4 or 5 years and I was like, would I want to know? I'm still leaning towards I don't think I would want to know, because
want to know either, because they said it was in the beginning of the relationship. Like, don't tell me.
Well, I mean, okay, so I think what happened was Julia had a lot of guilt and she wanted to clear her conscience. But you know, when you clear your conscience, you take that load off of your shoulders, you just transfer it onto somebody else. Yeah. So she basically took that load that she's been carrying for all these years and she tossed it at him. He didn't want it. You know, he could care less. They weren't married at the time. And wait, these couples are a complete train wreck. Yes, I said. Well, yeah, they're all a train wreck. Yeah. Their marriages are a hot mess. And, you know, they're all harping on things that happened a long time. Ari was talking about things that happened when she was pregnant. You know,
dude,
like.
I cannot with Ari. I cannot with her.
Well, she's upset because she feels like she's going through the same trials and issues that everyone else is, but no one seems to care. You know, because we
don't. You're a fake, phony ass bitch. Now get off my screen.
I mean, she's very unlikable, and remember, she entered into the house holding his social media hostage. So when we're digging deep for sympathy and compassion, the barrel is empty when it comes to her, because we're like, you treated him like he was below you. You took away his source of income. You took away how he could work. You're controlling him because you don't like what he's doing. And then at the same time, you're like, well, people should feel bad for me because he's mean.
And you moved to his home country. You took his kid, moved to his home country. Then when he moves on, you accuse him of cheating. You lying, sneaky little bitch. Get off my screen.
She was the other woman, right? So we got the information that he was in a serious relationship with, I mean, we kind of knew this all along. Yes, that Bunny, we're going to get to that. Benny was at the Super Bowl performing, and we're going to get to that. But he when they met, he was in a serious relationship. She was on vacation. She was sleeping with him. She got pregnant. And again, Benny made a sacrifice too, right? Benny probably wanted to be with this girl that he was with in Ethiopia. Yep. But when Ariella got pregnant, there was a situation where I have to take care of this child, 1. 2, I could move to America where my other child is. And he made that sacrifice, kind of like what Julia did. Julia probably wanted to be with the guy that she was with. He probably had no interest in ever moving to the U.S. There was no way that he could get her to the U.S. She made a sacrifice. Same thing with Ari and Benny. Benny decided.
Benny did it because he has 2 kids.
Yeah.
Both going to be in America. So at least he had a legit reason.
Well, yeah, it wasn't a selfish reason. You know, he wanted to, the child that he thought he never was going to see again ever, there was then a glimmer of hope. Hey, if I have a baby with this American, I'm going to go to America. There's a possibility that I could see this child, I could be in this child's life. So his decision wasn't selfish, but it also, you know, it makes Ari look a certain type of way because she went into a relationship that was functioning and fine and inserted herself and took him away. You know, and, you know, there's a word for that. I think they call that a home wrecker. No,
Yeah.
like it's a
I
homewrecker.
think it's a home wrecking whore, but whatever.
Well,
that.
but at the same time, she wants you to be sympathetic after she wrecked these people's home. And that's a bit crazy because she's like, well, nobody cares that I'm treated bad and I'm being manipulated and I'm being lied to. And I'm like, well, you cheated. You got him to cheat on his girlfriend to be with you. So if he's cheating on you, it can't be super surprising because that's how you got together. You know, just like when a guy meets a girl at a strip club, he's like, oh, I went to a strip club. I love this girl. And then later down the line, they date, they get married or whatever, and he finds out she's dancing or she's doing something that he doesn't approve of. And it's like, well, that can't be a super surprise to you.
Also,
based on
Ari's a terrible human. Let's just face it.
Yeah.
She's a terrible human. So, go Benny. Go Benny.
I mean,
go Benny in Ethiopia. Go Benny in Vegas. Go Benny at the Super Bowl. Go Benny. To hell with Ari. Go Benny.
Well, I want to bring up, because he was at the Super Bowl performing in one of the Kendrick skits, and she commented underneath the photo, look at what we did, or something like that. She used the word we. And I'm trying to understand, where did the word we go? So now that he's successful and he's doing well, you know, now it's we.
It's
just
because he did something good. So she wanted to make it look like she was a part of it when you know she wasn't.
No, she had nothing. If it was up to her, I'm pretty sure he probably booked this through social media.
Yep.
So if it was up to her, he would have never gotten booked because she would have never gave the passwords back. The only way she gave it back, she felt pressured because of the cameras, and I'm pretty sure Benny said, hey, I'm not going to continue filming with her unless she gives me back my passwords. And the producers were like, well, y'all are both here. So give them the password so we can move forward, because now you're screwing with everything. Like, we flew you here, you know, you're being paid to be here. You have to participate. Every time you look up, George, I am getting super jealous of your eyelashes. My eyelashes? Wait.
You have gorgeous eyelashes.
I do?
George. Look up at the sky. There you go.
I do?
You do?
I'm sorry, I didn't know. I hate them, actually, because when I sleep, there's always an eyelash in my eye when I wake up. They're just like falling out. So like, I hate them. They're a nuisance to me. I would shave them like I shave my head if I could. But I think you need them, right? I think
you could, but it would look very funny, and I would make fun of you.
I mean, short story. When I was in school, me and my friends, we were sticking gum on our faces, and I stuck gum on my eyebrow, and I pulled the gum off, and my whole eyebrow came off. And then I was eyebrowless for like 3 months. Fun story.
God.
Hey, Judy. Oh, so speaking of evil human beings, let's jump into Sophie. So Sophie, last week, she brought us into the segue that Rob was cheating, talking to girls and trying to have sex with girls that he met online or through dating apps. So Rob was like, okay, well, yeah, I was on a dating app because you told me in March of 2020, I think it said March of 2023, right after they got married, actually, you told me, you know, date whoever you want. You have my permission. I won't hold it against you. You know, act like you're single because I don't want to be with you. That's a pretty clear statement, right? And what's ironic is he did go on the dating app. He did try to talk to other people, but Rob, being a human being, he felt guilty knowing that he had a wife. And he was like, it doesn't feel right for me to just go out and sleep with other people when I could be trying to work it out with my wife. The only issue was his wife never wanted to work it out.
Yep.
She told him to, hey, the Diva Speaks. She told him to go out and date other people. And then when he did, she was like, oh, he's a liar and a cheater. And what made me really happy on tonight's episode was the hypnotist. She was able to give Rob an opportunity to defend himself, because every time she gets caught in a lie or gets caught doing the crap that she does, she runs away. Did you notice when Rob pulled out his phone and he was like, oh no, I have the screenshot. Sophie's like, let's just leave.
Yeah.
Let's just leave. I don't want to stay here. I don't want to be here while I was like, of course you don't want to stay here because you know you're lying. And you know that he has the text messages in his phone and he's going to show it to everyone, and everyone around you is going to see that you're a liar and you're a manipulator and you're stringing this man along. And it's funny because I used to hate Rob because the way that she painted him.
Yep.
She made it seem like he was an evil dude who didn't have a toilet in his house and he put her through all this crap. And then I realized he didn't put her through anything. No. Because the time that she said that he was cheating online, this was before they got married. She still married him. If it bothered you, if you knew that you couldn't actually trust this man, you would have never married him. You wanted to get over here. You got over here, and now you're trying to cut him out of your life. And unfortunately, he's in love with you. So he's not going to walk away as easy as you wanted. He was a step in the process of her getting over here, and she's trying to eliminate that step, and he's making it really difficult.
But then she has to go fake hyperventilate and call her psycho mom.
Well,
drag her back. But also, who's the one that introduced the screenshots saying he's in a freaking dating site? Kay, of course. Of course, Kay has to be involved.
Yeah, Kay.
In fact, I won't be surprised if she makes an appearance.
Sophie is an immature baby, acts like a 13-year-old, calls her mother crying. Yeah. I think Sophie has been enabled in this behavior, and I think that her mom is the same. Her and her mom are like the same person. I think that's why they don't get along half the time, because they operate the same way. They lie, they cheat, and they have a victim mentality. Like whatever happens to them, they're the victim. Other people are hurting them. They need the sympathy of the room. Kind of like how Ari wishes people saw her. Sophie is like, she's mastered the role of feel sorry for me. Feel sorry for me. Look at me. I'm hyperventilating. I'm having a panic attack. This is just so wrong. Rob yells at me. Rob is mean. She's mastered the damsel in distress.
Yep.
Right? But she's not, I don't buy it. Like, she's won over some people, because there are some people who are like, oh, Rob's such an a-hole. I can't believe she goes to that. And I was like, well, you got to look at it from both sides. He's stuck around. Like, if he was such an a-hole, he wanted to be with other women. If a man doesn't love you and he's just cheating on you and you give him permission to cheat on you, he will just go cheat. He wouldn't continue to chase after you. Rob has been chasing after her for years. She's just been the one that's not interested in fixing anything or being with him. So it's like, he's made mistakes. Obviously, he needs to have his phone taken away, right? He does. He needs to have his phone taken away. He doesn't know how to control himself. When you have women in your DMs and you're married, you have to shut your DMs down, right? Like, he's got his own issues, but she's got more issues than him.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, as soon as he's like, I got proof, hang on. That's when her whole meltdown happened. Had to call mom so that we can get mom on the TV again. It's just, I cannot with these people. This is a whole different level of dumpster fire. This is like a dumpster fire on a balcony of the tallest building. It's a whole fire.
Well, I think what's interesting is these people are so past the point of fixing anything. So, like, they got like Ari and Benny, Rob and Sophie, actually Jasmine and Gino, because we're finding out the timeline between Jasmine and Gino. We're finding out that her and Matt were together during the filming, because actually next week, Jasmine is going to call Matt for the first time on FaceTime. She called them earlier in the season, but now she's going to call them on FaceTime. And, so we're really seeing the timeline. So these people's relationships were already down the drain. The ship had sank. It was at the bottom of the ocean. There was no resuscitation here. So the show is kind of like, I said it to George Carl. Wait, what'd you say? I missed it. Wait, I missed what you said. Oh, reason why she was faking a panic attack is because he had receipts. Yeah, I don't think she realized that he had receipts. And then when she realized that the receipts existed, she was like, she tried to get all the women to go with her and run. She's like, well, let's just leave. We don't need to watch.
That's the other thing I'm just completely sick of. Why is this whole resort girls against guys? Why isn't it couples trying to build themselves up, trying to repair their marriage, trying to build each other up? Instead, it's girls against guys. This is bullshit.
I mean, I think it's because these relationships were already done.
Yeah.
And it's more so just about, making the other person look bad. Like, Ari made it clear her reason for being there was to show that Benny was a cheater and he cheated while she was pregnant. Like, that was literally the first thing she said on day one. She's like, I need everyone to know the things that he did to me.
Yeah.
Because, we already know she sucks. But she's like, I need to transfer some of this hatred towards him so people stop saying such mean things to me. And I was like, well, Ari, obviously Benny is not the best person in the world, right? He cheated on his girlfriend to be with you. We're not going to say that he's flawless, but if we're going to talk about who has the most flaws and who has the most issues, it's you. And it's really interesting because Sophie is the problem in their relationship too, right?
Yeah.
Like, Rob obviously needs to take his phone and set it on fire and stop talking to people. Yeah. But that's not the whole issue. If you're married to somebody and the person is telling you, go talk to anyone you want, just don't talk to me, I don't want to talk to you, what do you think someone is going to do?
Right.
And then she's like, and then the text message, what got me was like, I won't hold it against you. Meanwhile, she's holding it against him.
Literally.
That's what pissed me off the most because she was like, no, do whatever you want. You have my permission. I will not hold this against you. Meanwhile, she's holding it against him and trying to make him look like a horrible person on TV, which is when she's been doing this for 2 years. Yeah. Because I didn't like Rob the first season because she's really good at making men look like dogs. Yep. She's really good at it. When all is said and done, she's a dog. Yeah. Remember we found out that she had sex with her best friend, the one that she told Rob that she had never kissed. Yep. And that was the beginning of my eyebrow raise on Sophie. And I was like, I bet you any money she was having sex with him before she got here too. Yep. Because they had a weird vibe. Her and her best friend had a weird interaction.
It was so awkward.
Right?
So awkward.
I couldn't put my finger on it. And then I was like, I think Sophie continuously says Rob is having sex with other women because she was banging that best friend the whole time she was in the UK. I think that she was banging him up until like the day she left. And, you know, when you're doing something shady, you want to make it seem, you have to project that onto other people. You're like, oh, well, you're talking to other people. Why? Because she is. Because I am. So you should be doing it too. It makes you feel a little worse.
As irritated as I am with this entire season, I've always liked Florian, but I'm like a super fan of Florian now. This guy, he's got no filter, says it like it is. I actually really like Florian. I never thought I'd say that, but I do. I really like the guy.
Yeah. He's the breakout star.
I'm Team Florian the whole way.
He's the breakout star this season, right? Yeah, he's definitely the breakout star. He's the person that we didn't expect to be entertaining. Yeah. I mean, I liked him starting with like season 2 of Darcy and Stacey on. Yeah, he started to grow on me. I couldn't stand him at first, right? I just didn't like him. I thought he had him when he was
calling out Michael Benz. I was like, you go get him, boy.
That's around the time I started to like him. I was like, okay, so he does. At first I thought he had like the personality of like a piece of furniture, like he just was there. And then after you watched him and saw him, he's an interesting guy. And he's actually nice, but like he doesn't talk a lot. You won't know he's a nice guy until you be around him for a while.
But it's funny because there is such a language barrier with him that when he speaks his mind in I don't give a shit language. Like, there's no acting for him. These other people are putting it on for the camera. People say shit and he's just like, no, that's not how it is. And then he just calls it out like it is. I love that.
Well, yeah. He's not acting, and, you know, like you said, when people answer questions and do things on the show, it's calculated because they're thinking about the next show they're going to be on. So you have to watch how you answer questions, watch what you say, watch what you reveal, because they're thinking of the next step. Florian could care less. If this is the last show he's ever on, he probably doesn't care, right? Like, it doesn't, like when Darcy and Stacey ended, their show ended, he probably figured that was it. He didn't care. So when this came around, he's not acting. He's not wondering what producers want him to say. He just says what he feels, which I think it's refreshing, because we're watching a bunch of people like Natalie and Jasmine, who they're very calculated in their answers, because they're like, well, I can't screw up and say the wrong thing because I'm going to be
honest. Stacey. Stacey's still calculated.
Yeah. I kind of feel like they're programmed. Her and Darcy are programmed. Like they you know how you become a reality TV star and then you can't become human anymore? Like you're not. I feel like that Stacey and Darcy are like no more human. They're all reality TV star. Like, you could ask them a question and they're going to give you a television answer. Yeah. You'll never know how they really feel. Yep.
Even in the moment things, when they're sitting on the couch together, every time she says something, he gives her the most off the wall look and he's like, no. Stop it. That's how it should be.
Oh, wait. Shelly says, why does it look like the illusion that they're in the middle of nowhere when they're right next to the highway with bathrooms? Why is it? Well, that's Arizona, though. Arizona is like the weird, and you know, Nevada's like that too. You go literally from city to desert within a couple of miles. That's just kind of how the state is. Like, it's very populated, but there are parts of it that kind of look like the swamp, or not the swamp. But
they're literally just in a state park. They rented it for $50 a day. It is what it is. They're just
So the thought that they thought there would be snakes and bears. There's no snakes and bears. This is a park that people walk their dogs in. Yeah. There's a neighborhood, because I was actually talking to someone who told me that their neighborhood is less than 4 miles from this resort. So there's grocery stores, there's houses, there's gas stations. It does. I love the illusion though, but that's just the state. Arizona looks like that. It looks like you're in the middle of nowhere, and then you go over the hill, and there's a whole city.
Yeah.
Right there. It's just that illusion. Florida kind of has that too. Certain states, Colorado has it too. You'll be in the city. In Oregon, yeah, and then you go over a hill, or you take a right, and you're in the woods. So, yeah. Actually, someone said that Josh...
My house, if you look that way, it is all mountains and all lakes. If you look that way, it's all city.
Wait, Staff Bunny says, please, there are the snakes and bears. Wait, so there are snakes and bears in Arizona? I thought it was too hot.
There's snakes and scorpions in Arizona.
Oh, and no bears. Okay, so there are snakes and scorpions. Yeah, because bears, they can't survive in that type of heat, right? No, they need water. And
bears are here in Oregon and Alaska. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody was going to get bit by anything. So, yeah, no. the illusion was there that, y'all are sleeping with all the elements and the animals. But no, like you said, this is a park that people literally drive to and go hiking and camping in. Yeah, this resort, somebody was in my DMs and they said that they actually live like 10 minutes from that resort. And it's a very populated area. So, yeah, it's just an illusion, which it looked good, though. Also, I want to talk about Natalie's comment where she said that Josh body shamed her. So Josh said that he doesn't like to be touched. Well, Josh just said a lot of stuff. So first he said that he didn't want to participate in licking the chocolate syrup off of her because he likes to watch his calories. And then did you guys see last week or the week before he was eating s'mores like the size of his face, which is all sugar, right? And then he said on last week's episode that he doesn't like to be touched when he's sleeping, or to cuddle, or to be near her, basically. And then she took that as, you are body shaming me, you don't like the way I look. Well, I don't think it's body shaming, but to say that you don't want to be around someone or don't want someone to touch you, that is pretty low to say, even to her. It's pretty nasty to say to a person, right? Natalie's a person, right?
Do you want her to touch you?
Well, no, she scares me. But but he pretended. Okay, so look, this is my theory. My theory is the producers called him and said, hey, we want you and Natalie to come on the show. And I think that somebody made a call to Natalie to convince her to participate on the show. I think that somebody was probably Josh. I think there was
I don't think that there was any convincing needed. I think Natalie's the one that did the convincing to Josh. Because we all know Josh has a whole ass girlfriend.
Yeah.
And a whole ass family. We all know that.
He's never been looking to start a relationship with her because it's been 3 years and there's never been one. So, I mean, you could be right.
Money, little more plug for his business, little more this, little more that. You just have to put up with me. But this time, his girlfriend put the stipulations on him. Okay, go. But don't do no kissing, no making out, no nothing with her.
Oh.
And so now he's going, okay, I just don't want to be touched. I just don't want to be cuddled. I just don't want it. That's rules of his girlfriend. Now that it all came out that he has a girlfriend and has all along.
So this is like that. Who was that guy's name? Bojo, who was with Vanja. He has a girlfriend, and he had to watch what he did and said. Even on the tell-all, he had to watch what he did and said. So you think that Josh was allowed to participate because his girlfriend gave him permission, but he had to not behave like a single man. And he definitely isn't behaving like a single man on this show. He does act repulsed by any activity that he has to be anywhere near Natalie. He's repulsed.
I mean, I would be repulsed too, to be honest.
I mean, this is his claim to fame, though, right? He made his decision. He picked her. Like, he decided that he wanted to be on the show with this girl, to be on TV. And the least you could do is pretend like you're grateful, right? That's the least that you could do. Right?
Until you watch the first season you're on with her, and you're like, man, she really is batshit crazy.
Oh, no.
I don't want to be associated with her. And then you read everything, everywhere, anywhere about her, and they're like, this woman has lost her damn mind.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. Everything that she's done, like I said, I don't know if there's enough money in the world for me to go on the show and convince the world that I'm trying to be in a relationship with her. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's because, like you said, it's going to help his business. It's going to help improve his career because, he has an agency where he tries to get people to sign up for his modeling production company. I don't know what his end game is, but for me, it would be hard for me to explain to people in real life what I was doing on a show with someone like that, right? Like I would rather not have to have that conversation because nobody's gonna understand why I'm doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but when that's one of your main sources of income, who gives a shit what everybody else thinks? You're already dealing with her. That's enough punishment.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, I think that my theory is there was a time period before they started filming The Last Resort where Josh and Natalie hadn't spoken in a long time.
Yeah.
And I think that when the opportunity arose for them to be featured on the show again, they started talking again. But I can't say how long. I'm gonna say a year, maybe less. They weren't communicating. Like there was no Josh and Natalie for a while. That's why I think it's really outrageous that they're pretending like, oh, you know, we've been trying to make this work for over 3 years. No, you haven't. There's no way. There's no way. Like we've seen Josh and how he posts online. Natalie is never with him. She's never anywhere near the things that he's doing or the places that he's going. So it's kind of an annoying storyline for me, and I'm bored with it. Also, I wanted to ask you, how many episodes do you think we're going to have? Because we're at episode 11. Next week is episode 12. And then I was told that the tell-all is 3 parts. So how many episodes do you think we're...
3 parts?
3 parts.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do 3 parts of this.
Well, I'm trying to understand. I want to say last season, the first season of Last Resort was like 12 episodes. The whole season, no tell-all. Because what's the point of the tell-all? Because let's be real. The last episode is the recommitment ceremony where you decide, do you want to be with this person or do you want to move on? And we know 90% of them have already moved on. Jasmine's about to have a baby, right? Yeah. So like we know that they've moved on. So what's the purpose of the tell-all if we already had the recommitment ceremonies and we know who...
Also, I feel like with the Between the Sheets, that's kind of our tell-all.
Well,
we're talking shit behind the scenes, so...
answering the questions that arise throughout the episode. Yeah, what's the point? And then I heard it was 3 parts. And, you know, I heard some stuff about the tell-all where people were throwing things at each other. So, yeah. And I was just like, what? Yeah. And I was hearing a lot about the taping of the tell-all. And I heard, you know, no physical altercations, but I've heard that there were items thrown at people. I'm not saying that anything hit anyone, but I do know that items were thrown at people.
I hope so. That's the only thing that's going to make it worth watching.
Well, I was going to say, because what are we watching? Because obviously no one can get into an altercation with Jasmine. She's super pregnant, right? So if anybody is hitting Jasmine, then they're getting straight up arrested. So like, what are we even watching the tell-all for? And then 3 parts, 3 different weeks of the tell-all, I think is outrageous. Yeah. So, because I was like, we're on episode 11. I was assuming when it ended tonight, they were going to say next week on the season finale. Yeah. But they didn't. They just said next week. And I'm like, so we got like more than 1 episode left? Because I thought Darcy's episode would be the last episode.
Yeah, that's what I thought, honestly. So I really couldn't tell you how many more we got. But man, this is the most painful season in history. Yeah.
You know what Shabuti said? He said that it feels like when you were in high school and you got in trouble and the teacher asked you to stay after class for detention. He said that's how it feels watching The Last Resort. It's like you're doing something against your will.
Shabuti couldn't be more right.
He was like, I feel like I'm doing it, but I have to. Like if I don't do it, then it'll turn into 2 detentions or 3 detentions. So I have to do it, but I would rather be anywhere else in the entire world than here.
Painful. It is absolutely painful.
Diva Speaks, I don't know, was it true about the model losing money at his agency? There's a lot of things that people have posted that, it's on Yelp. Yelp. There's a lot of things that people posted about that agency. So if you go on Yelp and you type in the agency name, here I'll type it in the chat. You can read all of the different things that people are saying. Actually, on our last tell-all, 90 Day Fiance Fridays, it's the podcast I do with Shabuti. We read 7 reviews from Yelp on the agency. And there's a lot of things that people are saying and they're not good. They're not good at all. They're not good. So, but again, these agencies are well known for taking a lot of money from people and then not nothing happening.
Yeah.
So I have to say the consumer it's buyer beware as well, right? Like you want to blame the company, but also you as a consumer, you need to be a little more vigilant on who you're handing thousands of dollars to. So I don't want to just come down on one end of it. Like if somebody tells you something that sounds really, really good, almost too good to be true, and then there's a catch, that catch is there for a reason, right? You have to be very smart. So yeah, but there's a video. I think one of the bloggers, I don't want to say the name of the blog because I'm not exactly sure which one, but she posted a video review of one of the girls who was a part of it, and she just gave like a visualization of what happens at the castings and stuff. So it was very telling because they were doing the walks and nobody was watching. It was very telling, and it's sad because a lot of people they don't know how to get into the industry, and they think they're getting the help to get the information they need, and in turn they're not getting that. So it's sad, and I hate to see people go through that. But yeah, go to Yelp, type in that name, and decide for yourself. I'm not a deciding factor on what's a good situation and what's a bad situation. I like to give everybody all of the information, and you decide.
Yeah.
Because I don't have an issue with Josh like as a human being. I have an issue with Josh as like with Josh and Natalie. Yeah. But I don't want to tell you, oh, you shouldn't like this guy. You go read all that information and you make that decision on your own.
I mean, I feel sorry for Josh, just for Josh being around Natalie, knowing Natalie, having contact with Natalie, having to be on TV with Natalie. My heart goes out to him.
He's a very patient man and generous too, because she expects so much out of him and she exploits him for so much money. It's like she went and had kids with an NBA player, and she's like,
I don't think so.
What do you mean?
I think that Natalie has her own TLC money, but cannot speak of the TLC money on TLC as part of her NBA.
Well, right.
So
you can't. Yeah, that's true.
Makes it sound like she has to make it sound like Josh is the one helping her, because everybody else is like, "Where'd you get your money?"
Well, right. She ain't had no job. She ain't had no job since she got here.
Yeah,
but
so
you're
Josh
right.
To be like, yeah, I'm the good guy. I've given her money. I've helped her with. So maybe Josh like co-signed on an apartment, or Josh helped co-sign on a car or whatever. But I don't think Josh has actually handed over any cash. Josh was her co-host, so he's taking, like, you wouldn't have been on this show anymore after Mike if it wasn't for me. So I think that's where the help from Josh has come in.
That could be true. That could be true. You're right. Because, no offense, I don't know Josh, but it would be crazy that he could fund a life in Arizona and fund someone's life in LA too.
Yeah.
Super expensive, right? Yeah. Like, because a lot of people are saying that he rents his cars.
And her mom's too.
Oh, yeah, and her mom. Yeah, that's a lot. And he's got kids. He's got a girlfriend and an ex-wife. Like, he has got a lot of people that depend on him. So if he's able to take care of all these people and her, that would be very impressive. And
so I really think it's just the only credit that goes to Josh is he's the reason she's been on more than just seasons with Mike.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Natalie, I think, is one of those people that plays a role. I think that she's crazy, but I don't think she's as stupid as people think she is. And I think that's how she's made it this far on this show with no actual job outside of this show. She's a calculated person.
Yeah.
She does everything for a reason. I don't think that she's completely sane. I think that the way that we see her on the show and how she acts like that. But I think when it comes to getting money and figuring out a way to get over, she's very smart in that department. And because she did it to Mike. She got mad at Mike because he had to work. And I was like, well, you ain't working. So I was like,
she's actually a professional gold digger. I mean,
yeah, I think you're right. I think that people, I mean, I don't think that she's a genius. I don't think that she's a PhD, but I think that she
has an OnlyFans. And I'm sure there's billions of people out there that would pay to see her OnlyFans if they don't have to hear her speak.
I would not pay to see her OnlyFans. No.
Right. But if you're a guy and you're scrolling through OnlyFans and you're trying to find a hot chick and you come across her, she's beautiful. If she doesn't talk or open her mouth or speak or breathe near you or ask for anything, you don't have to interact with her. Yeah, she's pretty from afar.
From the right angle.
Right.
Some angles she looks a little scary.
Yes.
But from the right angle, she is very pretty. You're right. Oh wait, is she gonna develop a mad crush on Florian? I wish. That would be some drama. I would watch that. I would love to watch Stacy try to fight. Yeah, I would love that. I mean, but no, probably not. I think Florian knows his place. He knows that he's hit the jackpot. He's got an older woman that's gonna take care of him, and he's never got to work or do anything. I think Florian is too smart to mess that up. I think Florian knows that his position. Georgie too. Did you see that Darcy posted the other day, her and Georgie together?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, remember she posted she was single around New Year? She ain't single.
Yeah.
Her and Georgie are still going strong. Georgie's going nowhere.
Yeah.
I think that whatever she needs to say to get her ass back on that TV screen, she will say it. But her and Georgie are married and happy and ain't going nowhere. I wouldn't be surprised if she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Like Darcy is trying to trap Georgie at this point.
Absolutely.
Right? Like I wouldn't be surprised. So, yeah. They're definitely too smart to mess it up. Georgie and Florian are in an excellent situation. They're in a good situation. They're with two women that have more money than they know what to do with, and they want a younger guy. It's a trade-off where everybody wins, right? Yeah. Everybody's winning in this situation.
Absolutely.
Wait, Gina says, I've seen pics of her shopping, and she looks like a strange over her face. I saw that photo with her hair crazy and no makeup. I have seen that photo. Natalie is really, really pretty when she wants to be, right? When she makes herself up, dresses nice, she's gorgeous. But when she wants to just roll out of the house, and I'm not judging, every now and then, like the other day, I went out the house, I looked crazy, and I didn't shower, I had on my night clothes, I just needed one thing. I went to the store, and I just prayed to God that absolutely no one saw me, right? Yeah. So I'm not judging, I was just
do it.
Yeah, like I was just hoping that absolutely no one saw me. I just needed one thing. I didn't want to go through the whole routine of getting ready and everything just to go to the store and come straight back.
Yeah.
I was just like, no. So yeah, I totally understand. I'm not judging her for that. I'm not saying that women need to be beautiful all the time.
No, but
sometimes you're allowed.
You have to be beautiful if you're going to do an OnlyFans and expect all this money for it. And you have to be beautiful if you're roping in all these single guys, and I use the term loosely, to go on TV shows. Like, you know, I just can't. But if you've never watched any of the 90 Day anything and you don't know shit about her and you just stumble across her picture on OnlyFans, you're like, she's pretty. Just don't speak. As long as she doesn't speak or have your contact information, you're fine.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure people don't go on OnlyFans to watch videos of people talking.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, she has a lot of followers. So her having an OnlyFans, you're right, is producing a decent amount of money. Because I found out that Jasmine was making over $25,000 a month on OnlyFans.
Yep.
So you would be really surprised the people that we are repulsed by, some people aren't.
Yeah.
Right? Like some people are not.
The people that we're repulsed by, we have seen their attitude and their personality from day one.
Yeah.
So we already know that they're terrible people. We know that they're terrible voices. We know that they're just terrible people. These other people that are following them have never even heard them speak. They just see that, like, if you look at Jasmine, she's gorgeous if she doesn't open her damn mouth.
Yeah, she really is.
Same with Natalie.
I'm looking for your DM right now.
Mine? Yeah.
All right. So Cara sent me a DM earlier, and there are accusations that Jasmine cheated. No, wait, that's Gino. Word on the street is that the biggest lie is that Fiance's not her kid. So this is word on the street. So this isn't like proven. This is just like a alleged statement.
There's some truth behind it.
Me and my family, but not.
You're blocked from the person that posted that.
Yeah, I can't see their post, so I'm trying to read your screenshots.
Yeah, so
one of the questions I can't
answer and send it to you. But she's always talking about having two kids. But if Fiance isn't really hers, that more or less confirms that her other kid is her
sister. Yeah. So who's Fiance for?
I don't know. I gotta Gotta do more. I literally just found all of this out like 30 seconds before we started podcasting.
Yeah. We were literally having that because you're like, I'll text you, because I was like, I've never seen it. I'm looking at it now, and me and my family, but not Dad. Are you able to? Huh? She didn't really deny it in the comments either.
Yep.
Yeah, she didn't say that's absolutely false either. So yeah, we'll look into this, because this is definitely something that maybe a paid child actor. That could be. I don't put nothing past these shows anymore.
I don't know.
That could be, you know, maybe that's why it was so much easier for her to leave. I don't want to say that. That's not fair. That's not fair, because you can love a child even if you adopted it. So no, that's not fair. I don't want to say that, because the mother's love doesn't change whether or not it's biological or not. So I don't even want to say that.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's so much fishiness happening.
Well, she's been in defense mode, you know, because a lot's been coming out about her and who she's with, and her being pregnant, and the alleged stuff about her new boyfriend and violence. She's been in defense mode like for a while now, so she's really trying to clear up one thing after another. And I think the more you attack a rumor, the worse it makes you look. I think when you're in a public figure position, when someone says something that's just a blatant lie about you, just ignore it.
Yeah. I
think when you keep talking about it, that's more incriminating than anything. Because if it wasn't true, it's ludicrous, and no one would. Like I always tell people all the time, when people are like, oh, I hate this person, or it's like, you can't convince me to hate somebody because you hate them. I have to learn how to hate them on my own.
Right.
You know, so it's like, if someone says something horrible about you, if people know you well enough, they won't believe it, because they'll know that you're not capable of what that lie is. So when you have to defend every single thing, it makes me wonder, like, is there any truth to it? Because some rumors, I don't even need to clear up. People who know me well enough to know that that's not true.
Yep.
Right? And she doesn't feel that way. She feels like she has to tell everybody what's true and what isn't. And that makes me wonder, well, is it true?
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. She's a character. She's definitely a character. I don't know what to believe with that, but
yeah. I don't know. More's coming out, so we'll see. There's another person that has some stuff posted, but I believe they have you blocked also. So I got.
Ooh, everybody hates me. Okay, everybody hates me.
No, it's just those main two that you know of.
Yeah, one of them didn't like me, so they convinced
everyone. You, and the other one that's tagged in it.
Yes, and me the rest.
Okay.
But yeah, one of them didn't like me, and then they convinced they're a clique, so they operate in groups, so they all blocked me. But I haven't lost 1 ounce of sleep. Just so they know.
Because I still send it to you, because they're not smart enough to block me too.
Well, whose Amazon gift list was she shopping for when she claimed it was for him?
Probably.
I mean,
just a kid that's never been on TV.
Yeah, or just because it's not her biological kid doesn't mean that she didn't take care of it. You know, it could still be a son that she was taking care of, just not her biological child. You know, there's plenty of people. I've known women that will get married, and then the husband will bring other children, and they take care of those children just like they're.
I adopted 3 of my son's friends, legally.
Really?
Legally adopted. I raised them from 12 to 18.
See?
All 3 of them.
And those are your kids. Like, you can't. There's no stronger love.
I have their names tattooed on my back. They are my kids.
Exactly. Because that's why I said, I was like, I don't want to say just because they're not biological doesn't mean she doesn't love them as much, because that's bullshit.
I mean, I love my more, but still, whatever.
Well, your child is your child. You know, like, regardless if you gave birth to them, you adopted them, you foster them, even your animal, your dog, your cat, that's your child. And if anybody wants to minimize the love that you have, that's not fair. Yeah, it's unconditional love. Exactly.
I didn't have my own children. If I can't say. I mean, of course, I love my kids more than anything in the world, and nothing would ever be above that. But if I didn't have my own children and I adopted kids, I can absolutely imagine how, you know, I love my adopted kids. I love them. I love them very much. And if they were my only children, I can only imagine how I would feel. Yeah. You know. So, I don't know. That sounds horrible, but it's true.
I mean, yeah.
I'm a terrible person.
It's true. But we're going to keep our eye very close on this story and see what's going on. And she said in one of the comments that she can start answering questions about that soon.
Yeah.
So maybe this is something that is going to come up on this extra long tell-all. Like, who knows? I don't know what's going on with it, but we'll keep our eye on it. And then also Sunday is the premiere of the OG 90 Day Fiance, the original, the one that brought us all together for the first time over 10 years ago. It's coming back with some new faces. So unfortunately, I can't change it, but Sarper and Shekinah will be back. This will be a perfect time for you to get a drink refill, go to the bathroom, text your best friend, whatever you need to do to get through it. I can't fix it. I'm sorry. It's not my choice. This is just the truth. But also, Sean and Aaliyah are back, who are my favorites from Love in Paradise. They're back. 36-year age difference, guys. It's going to be fun to watch.
No, Jessica and Juan are my favorite.
I love Jessica and Juan, too. Yeah, this is going to be a fun season. It's going to be a fun season. And Juan is a cruise ship guy who's now going to be living, I think, in Wyoming with a bunch of cows. So that'll be fun. You know, that's like moving from the beach to Canada, right? Like, it'll be fun to watch. It'll be, and I'm pretty sure their wedding is going to be on this season, which they filmed. So we get to actually see their wedding and when he got here. So that'll be fun. And then there's our second ever throuple. The first ever throuple came on Love in Paradise a few years ago. This is our second throuple this season, and where he has to divorce his wife so he can marry the new girl. So so we're going to be covering that, obviously we're going to be covering the new drama. So make sure you join us next Sunday, right after 90 Day Fiance, the OG season. Make sure you're following Cara. I'm going to tag her in this video, and we're going to sign off for tonight. Throw Canada under the bus. It's cold there, Gina. It's cold. It's
cold here. It's -2 tonight.
Oh, is it really?
And it's
I don't even.
Tomorrow.
It was 88 today.
That's ridiculous.
It was 88 today.
It was very. Our high today was 23.
Oh wow! Yeah, it was 88 today. I was sweating. I was in the car and I had to turn the AC on max. I was sweating.
That's ridiculous. But
yeah, it was bad. All right, guys, make sure you're following me on all social media platforms at George Mossey, GeorgeMossey.com. Anywhere you get your podcast, type in the George Mossey Show. Everybody have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you all Sunday. Bye.
Bye.